Welcome to Motocross Action's YouTube channel. We're going to go over how to get the most horsepower gain with the least amount of money out of a KTM 350 SXF. And if you're a Husqvarna guy, the FC250. That answer is simple. Buy a bolt-on big bore kit. Maybe your first thoughts are, I'm not a cheater, or those kits will bring down the reliability of my engine. Both statements are wrong. Technically, you're not a cheater until someone finds out, right? And big bore kits like the Cylinder Works 366 engine kit we use on our KTM 350 SXF have incredible reliability. We have tested these throughout time. And we are half kidding, we are not telling you to cheat, but this kit is perfect for vet riders. If you own a 350cc machine, chances are you are underpowered in the sea of 450cc machines, or you're just a professional practice rider having fun on the weekends. It's blatantly obvious that we did more to our KTM 350 than just the big bore kit. Honestly, we couldn't help ourselves. The bling is just icing on the cake. The suspension, engine work mapping, exhaust, plastic graphics, and accoutrement choices are only offered as suggestions that come at a hefty price tag. And we will go through some of those later, but now we're going to focus on the big bore kit. Let's first talk about the cost. The actual Cylinder Works engine kit that takes your FC350 or 350 SXF from 349.7 cc's to 366 cc's only costs $649.95. For that money, you get a brand new cast cylinder that accepts a 2mm larger vortex piston kit and a complete set of Cometic gaskets. It is a bolt-on kit that ups the bore and stroke from 88mm by 57.5mm to 90mm by 57.5mm. All you have to do is remove the stock part, slip the new cylinder piston on, and drop the head back in place. By 4-stroke standards, this is the simplest big bore mod known to man. Next up is number 2. The powerband. MXA's 366 SXF felt considerably beefier on the bottom. The added bonus of the more displacement, even just 16.3 cc's more, resulted in power in places where the stock 350 engine was at its weakest. The 366cc power plant hit with a rush of power. It felt very hooked up, was blessed with more torque, and could pull the next tallest gear anytime you felt like shifting. It still revved on top, but was no longer a necessary destination. Instead, test riders would let it rev to where they felt comfortable and then short shift to the next gear. The powerband was awesome. Instead of a powerband that was skewed to top end rev, the 366 kit turned the 350 SXF into a mid-range powerful engine. Number 3, horsepower. The 366 SXF made more horsepower than the stock 350, but most significant, the 366 kit brought peak horsepower down from 12,400 RPM on the 350 to 10,000 RPM. The biggest horsepower gains from the 366 kit were from 6,000 RPM to 10 grand. We expected this kit to suffer in the top end power because that is what happens when an engine has to push a bigger piston at faster and faster revolutions. No test rider took the power numbers over 10,000 RPM seriously, because even though the 366 was willing to rev to 13,400 RPM, it got its work done lower in the power band and with more gusto than the 350. Next is number 4. We're going to talk about how it felt from the saddle a little bit. With all the power in the perfect pocket, test riders could generate more horsepower without having to go flat out to get the most out of this engine. We could short shift, we could rev it, we could stay at a lower RPM, and we could get to the corners with a more manageable power delivery than on a 450, and with less clutch than on a 350. And remember, during our test, we did succumb to the lure of increased performance, and not because we were unhappy with the way it ran with just a cylinder kit, but because we wanted to see the kit's hop-up potential. We had twisted development work on the cylinder head and added tunable vortex ignition while FMF added its exhaust system. The results were the same expected gains that we would have gotten on our stock 350 engine, which were really good. And last, number 5. The test rider's thoughts. The slower the test rider, the quicker he adapted to the new powerband. Most said that they were never fully comfortable having to hold the 350 engine wide open and down every straightaway. They loved that the 366 got up to speed quicker and didn't require a suicide approach to fast straightaways. However, the faster the test rider, the more conflicted he was about trading RPM for torque. But after the back-to-back testing between the KTM 366 and the stock KTM 350, every one of our test riders, they all preferred the 366 powerband, hands down. Now that we've covered the 366 kit, we're gonna give you a list of everything we couldn't help ourselves to do on this build. So here it goes. Decal Works supplied the semi-custom kit graphics, pre-printed number plate backgrounds, and clear plastic graphics cards. Factory Connection added a coil spring conversion WP kit and fork lugs, which are required for the Technical Touch Racing Hayaba kit. And they were awesome. We loved them. We ran the Dirt Tricks spring-loaded cam chain tensioner. Dunlop MX33 tires were used front and rear. The exhaust system was a full FMF system. We ran the stock KTM steel clutch basket with Hinson clutch plates and clutch cover. The custom cool seat was built by Motoseat. We got the clutch and brake lever covers from the Hilo Concepts. ODI supplied the V2 lock-on grips and handlebars. We changed the gearing during testing with Super sprockets and the Gold MX race chain. The black on black hubs and rims came from SRT. The P3 Carbon X3 skid plate we used only weighs 3/4 pounds. The titanium foot pegs were from Star. Tusk supplied the oversized rotor adapter bracket for the cable lugs, plus the rear rotor and sprocket bolts. The red KTM plastic came from UFO, along with the mud flat and frame guards. We really wanted to change the color from orange to red because, well, we could, and we thought it would look cool. We ran VP Racing T4 fuel, which is a high quality replacement for pump gas. All the bling, including the engraved brake caps, rotating front brake mount, engine plugs, bike stand, and axle blocks were from Works Connection. Yep, that was a mouthful, but that concludes our KTM 366 build. Thank you for tuning in to MXA YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We recommend you subscribe to Motocross Action Magazine in the link below to get more in-depth content in all things motocross delivered right to your door.